What's the story, Smackdown fans? Tonight's topics on the Wrestle Story are Kofi attacked by a returning superstar,
Charlotte and Lacey, the next big tag team,
Roman and Shane's saga continues.
Dun dun dun!
All that and more coming up. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Wrestle Story, where we discuss all things wrestling, the legends of the past, the superstars of the present, and the trailblazers of the future. We stream every Monday after Raw, every Tuesday after Smackdown, every Wednesday after NXT, and after every pay-per-view.
Boy, oh boy, you were going so fast. You were like, blah, 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 NXT. You almost forgot what you were saying there.
No, I didn't mess up this time.
Yeah, so it's Tuesday. We're talking about Smackdown Live. And, not a bad show.
A decent show. I won't say it was great, but it was a decent show.
Not a bad show.
They've got some stuff they can do as long as they keep the storylines going.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do.
They
see what
do.
happens.
So, Smackdown Live. We're just going to get right into it because we're going to just get right into it. So, the show didn't open yet, but at first we get a backstage shot of Shane and Elias. Shane is on a phone. He's talking. He's like, blah, 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 rambling on about Shane things. And then Elias comes in and is like, yo, I got my match later tonight. And Shane was like, yeah, you do. And so they kind of went back and forth for a minute. And then Shane was like, I'm going to be at ringside for your match. And you're going to win this time. I'm going to make sure of it. And Elias was like, okay. And then we go to the actual opening of SmackDown Live, where we get the return of Big E. This was exciting.
Yeah, it was kind of cool the way they did it.
It was really funny. So, it started out with Kofi and Woods just coming out first. And they were like, we are here to welcome back our brother. Can I get a drum roll, please? And Xavier Woods walks to the back. And he grabs a guy who is underneath a cloth. And what we think is Big E. And he walks out with him. And they go, drum roll, please. Big E! And they take the cloth off. And it's like some tiny dude who looks nothing like Big E. Who doesn't fit in the clothes that he is wearing because they are Big E's. And they were like, whoa, 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 whoa. Who are you? What do you think you're doing? You're not Big E. I don't even know who you are. Who is this guy?
I think it actually had him in a Big E outfit.
Yeah.
So everything looked really big on him.
Looked huge. And so Woods says, you look like Big E was left in the dryer. Which was hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was really funny. And then he's like, get out of here. So he leaves. And then they're like, now let's actually get Big E out here. And they go, drum roll, please, Big E. And then Big E walks out. And it was a big party celebration. They get in the ring. And then, they talk about Big E's return and how he is not medically cleared to compete yet. But he's able to come back to hang out with his brothers. And what I thought was really funny, the segment was really funny overall. There was another part of the segment where they kind of Big E made mention to his tweets. And he pulled out his phone from his thing and he was like, oh, I got a tweet real quick. Hold on, guys, give me 1 second. And then they brought up the incident with where it was after Becky Lynch put up a photo of her mom and herself, and Big E was making comments about Becky's mom, and they made mention of that, and it was hilarious.
Hey, faithful baller.
Hello. But it was so funny. It was the funniest thing ever. And so then, we get Big E's not medically cleared, but that's okay because he's back. He's a ball of fun. I'll miss the tweets during the shows.
Yes.
Because they were absolutely hilarious.
Definitely.
And then we have the fun suckers. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn who come out. Well, separate times. Kevin Owens comes out first, and then we have Sami Zayn. And they both are, hey, just because the New Day's back together doesn't mean it's going to be party time. And New Day's like, yeah, it is. It's party time because we're back together.
I think it's awesome. We've actually got some AEW news here that we will share here in just a little bit.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
cool stuff.
Stick around and we'll talk about them.
Yeah. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they just came out, kind of ruined the fun. But Sami and Kofi have a match later in the evening, and Kofi was like, well, actually, when it's time to throw down, I'm gonna throw down, and I'm gonna beat you up because I can. And so, that's where we're kind of left with that. And then yeah, that's my dad. And then we get a promo backstage with the 24/7 champion, R-Truth.
Again, I don't like this whole title thing that they're doing with this. I
do.
I hate it.
I have changed my mind.
I absolutely hate it.
I've changed my mind about this whole title thing.
All these guys that are never seen on TV running around backstage chasing after, there goes the title. Where'd the title go?
It might very well just be that. But I was kind of negative about it last night when they brought it out. And I was like, I just don't see the point. And my reaction was like, okay. Got it. I don't understand the title, but
I'm
cool.
Still negative about it. I don't like it.
And now, after watching the few videos that Drake Maverick had put out on his Twitter of him, he had R-Truth wanted posters that he was handing out to everybody. And R-Truth made videos. I know Matt Hardy made a video talking about the 24/7 championship. And then they bring that type of thing onto the show. I think it's really funny. And honestly, I don't have a problem with it now.
It's funny. Here's what I will say about it, okay? They're creating a storyline out of it, which, makes it somewhat interesting. But overall, the whole idea behind it, I don't like.
I mean, I get it, and I understand where people are coming from that angle. But honestly, I think at this point, it's just something fun, and it livens up the division.
I think it's done because they're trying to find a way to use the rest of those wrestlers.
I mean, they are.
Because all they do is have the same people out week in and week out.
They are, but I think it's a funny idea, and I like where they're going with it right now. So I'm okay with it now. I changed my mind.
They don't have any clue what to do with their talent.
They might not, but like I said, it's just it's a joke title. Everybody knows it's a joke title, but it's okay because it's funny and it's bringing some type of entertainment to people.
Well, it is. I mean, but like I said, I still don't like the way they're doing it.
I don't think it's going to be a serious championship. That's not what it's going to be at all.
It can't be.
And so, it just brings something funny to the show, which I don't mind. I like I said, I think it's hilarious. And so we get that video, and R-Truth is walking around backstage. Well, he's not walking around backstage, but Carmella comes up to him, and she's like, Truth, where you at? Truth. And we get this picture of Carmella standing here, and then there's this person with a blonde wig on, and he's got his elbow in this box hiding his championship. And they had that.
You lost your train of thought.
I did. I lost my train of thought.
Anthony said something and you lost your train of thought.
I did. So I was gonna read it, and then
he retracted his
message.
message.
He retracted it, and so I was like,
you were gonna read, and then beep, there it goes.
And then I lost my thought. No, but they had him standing there, and he had his elbow in the box, and he had this blonde wig on, and Carmella was like, Truth, everybody knows that's you. What are you even doing? And he was like, you gotta help me, you gotta help me, you gotta help me. They're gonna come after me. They're going to try and take my 24/7 championship. Well, what's funny is last night he was calling it the European Championship on Twitter. He was like, now I got to defend this European Championship, and I'm going to do the best job, and I'm so good.
Oh, I 100% agree. That's why they're doing it. I just think they could do a lot more with the mid-card guys without having to do a gimmick like this.
I mean, I agree. They could do something better, but with what it is... It's a joke title, and it, like I said, it brings some comedy into it, and I don't have a problem with that.
You're not creating any storylines that you need to have. You need to have storylines with your mid-card people. Sorry. You have to have storylines with your lower card people.
You do.
To get people to get interested, and it's not happening.
You do, but
this does not create a storyline. This just creates a bunch of people running around going after a title.
Exactly, but what is it? It's entertainment. People are getting entertained by it. They're laughing at it, and they think it's hilariously funny because you have Drake Maverick going to every place he possibly can go and handing out these stupid R-Truth wanted posters.
The question is how long does this last? If people are being entertained by this, and it happens every week, people aren't going to want to see it every weekend.
They might not, but right now, it's working for the moment.
We'll see where it goes.
So, that's kind of where that leaves off. Carmella and R-Truth, they run to the back, and Carmella's like, okay, fine, I'll help you. At this point, I was like, are they going to do my idea? Because I talked about this last night.
Yeah,
where Carmella pinning R-Truth to get the championship. Okay, that's not what they did, but we could be headed there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that happen. So then we have a match between Ali and Andrade, and this is a good match. I'm always pleased with both of these guys' matches. It's just like Ricochet, it's just like Aleister Black, it's just like any of those guys. They always have good matches.
I like it. But again, just for a match, it's okay. But they keep doing these guys together, and there's no storyline here. I mean, where's the storyline?
They both were just in Money in the Bank.
Okay, but they've been wrestling each other in some form or with each other in some form now for probably 2 months.
Yeah.
And almost every week we see them together in some form. And so I don't understand, a good match, definitely a good match. But again, you have to have the storyline in behind it to make it interesting.
Yeah.
And there's just not a storyline there.
Yeah.
Not that they couldn't make one, but they don't have one going for it right now. And I think that's one of the things that kills matches like this. You don't have the good storyline to back it up.
Yeah, I get that. So Ali ends up getting the win in this match. Again, great match. Awesome job to both guys. They always do great matches. Then we have another R-Truth and Carmella promo backstage where Carmella is dressing Truth up as Carmella. So she puts her shirt on him and this blonde wig, and she's got the hat, or he's got the hat, and he's got his belt around his waist, and he's getting ready to go to ringside with Carmella for her match, which is next. And that is against Mandy Rose. This segment was not about them.
No. Again, you've created something here that you didn't need to. I think that you could have done the Mandy Rose Carmella thing and made it interesting and started to create something here, and they don't do it.
Well, they made the match after they've kind of gone back and forth on Twitter the last couple days. And so that's what they were saying was the reasoning behind doing this match. And then they in the middle of it, they end it in a DQ after the rest of the roster comes out to get Truth and his championship.
Yeah, so it's kind of, you've killed everything you got going there, everything you could have going with, the women's division has just been totally forgotten about. Outside of the big, four, the women's division has been completely, totally forgotten. We haven't seen Asuka and Kairi Sane for a while.
They were on TV last week.
Okay, but they didn't do anything. I mean, there's nothing to it.
They had a match against Mandy and Sonya, I think.
Okay, and what have they done with it? Nothing. But
honestly,
they're not creating anything with any of these people.
No, but the issue is they don't really have a women's tag team division to build anything up with.
Oh, you have Mandy and Sonya you could use. You have
Asuka and Kairi Sane, and you have the Iconics.
You have the Iconics. Obviously, we'll get to it here with what they're doing with Lacey and Charlotte. I think that they're setting them up to be the next tag team champions.
I'm going to agree with you. Quite honestly, I'll talk about that in a second. So then we have a Bayley interview talking about her brand new SmackDown Women's Championship and how good it feels to have it and cashing in Money in the Bank and all that business. And then we have Kofi versus Sami Zayn. And Big E in the back is taken out by, we're assuming Sami Zayn?
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Sami attacked him. We're saying Sami because we're assuming that's who it was. Who attacked him before his match got started. Before Kofi's match got started, he was going to go to ringside with them.
What if it's Bray Wyatt?
Possibly. But I would assume it's Sami Zayn just because of what they were playing off of right before they went to commercial break,
Okay,
where Sami was like...
So they throw a twist. That's what they're trying to make you think. Remember, Bray Wyatt or Sami Zayn was hung by his feet
by Bray.
By somebody.
Bray.
And who's it all circled around? Who does it all involve?
Bray.
Who was Sami Zayn supposed to wrestle?
Kofi.
What was he supposed to do the other night?
He was supposed to be in Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank for his opportunity to get a title shot, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it's coming. I think Big E's going to turn heel.
Super Showdown. That's my guess.
So
if he's cleared by Super Showdown.
You have Sami Zayn attacked by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You then have Big E attacked by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Bray Wyatt wants a shot at the title.
Maybe, but he's on Raw.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter. I don't know why I keep bringing that up because the brand split is dead. So I just need to stop.
So, maybe that's what they're going to do is have Bray Wyatt come in and take a shot at Kofi's title or whoever happens to have the title at the time.
Maybe, I guess. I can see that happening. So that happened, and then Kofi ends up getting the win in the match. It was a good back and forth match. And then after that, we have good old Paul Heyman, who comes out holding the Money in the Bank briefcase, and Kofi is like, I'm ready. Bring it. Bring the beast out here. And the people are like chanting, we want Brock. We want Brock. Because they wanted the stupid thing to get off of him.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have it anymore. And we don't get Brock. We get Dolph Ziggler, who comes out and attacks Kofi.
Kofi from behind.
He killed Kofi. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he pretty much destroyed Kofi.
He killed Kofi.
But again, it's done just like it's been done. What they've been doing. Kofi takes a beating, and I don't know. It's the one thing they're doing.
They explain this later, and I'll talk about my thoughts on where they're going with this.
Well, the one thing they did do here, okay, Dolph Ziggler, comes out, attacks him from behind.
Well, and Dolph Ziggler returned for the first time since being in the Royal Rumble. Almost, I don't even know how long ago. Royal Rumble was in January.
Yeah.
So it's like 5 months.
Yeah.
Closer to 6 months.
Roughly.
Or so.
The one thing they did create a storyline here. Dolph Ziggler comes out and basically he's jealous of Kofi because he felt it should have been his shot and his turn and he didn't get it, and so.
I was going to talk about that in a minute.
There is a storyline here behind kind of what is being done.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean we'll just talk about that now, since we're talking about the subject. I think. So essentially, later on, Dolph Ziggler comes out and he, talks about being jealous. And then he says at Super Showdown, I'm going to beat Kofi and I'm going to take what's rightfully mine. And you people are going to be okay with it. And you're going to love me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the champion. And so at Super Showdown, we're apparently getting Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston.
Apparently.
I'm not mad at it. If I'm being honest. I'm not mad at it.
Well, again, I mean, I think it's got a shot at being something.
A good match.
As long as they keep a storyline going.
And I kind of like the angle that they're coming at with the fact that Dolph Ziggler has been in WWE just as long as Kofi has. But yet he was never given the opportunity to become a superstar, and overnight, when Ollie was injured, they chose him over me.
Yeah.
We've been in this the same amount of time, and they choose him over me. I can't believe they do that.
Yeah, it's kind of a jealous thing, and so there's a storyline they've created, and so we'll see what happens.
I think it works.
If they keep it up, it'll be good. But the one thing is if they don't do that, then everything's going to be kind of ruined and blown. I mean, everything they're doing will be out and gone.
It's so different from any other Dolph Ziggler storyline or character that he has played. I'm kind of intrigued with where they go from it, where they go with it from here.
Yeah. I mean, what they do with it, we'll see.
It just makes, I don't know. It's just different for like Dolph Ziggler. So I'm kind of curious as to where they go with it.
Definitely.
So Dolph Ziggler attacks Kofi from behind, like brutally attacks him with a chair and everything, and then Kofi's taken out on a stretcher, but halfway up the ramp, Kofi stops and is like, no, I'm walking to the back by myself. And so he gets up and walks to the back himself. Then we get a Roman and Elias promo. Roman Reigns is walking in, and Elias was backstage waiting for him. But Elias is now on the top of one of their trucks and sings him a song.
This is why it's cool with as far as Elias and what he does well. But they're not pushing him over here. So I don't know what exactly they're doing with this.
I kind of would like him to go back to Raw.
So, it's kind of a pointless thing as far as the way Elias goes, because all they're doing is having him take a beating.
I want him to go back to Raw. He was doing much more on Raw than he was on here.
So then after the promo, we have Charlotte and Lacey versus Becky and Bayley.
Good match. Excellent match for the women's division.
Definitely.
Becky didn't have to yell at people to get closer this time around when she did a drop kick off the top rope.
Definitely a good match. Like I said, I think that they're setting up. Becky, Lacey, and Charlotte to be a tag team and probably go after the tag team titles.
Honestly, I think that would be a smart move on their part because Charlotte is bigger than the Iconics combined. And having Lacey with Charlotte, they could kind of, it might help Lacey.
Yeah, it might.
To help her get better in the ring.
Yeah.
Because Charlotte is very good, it might help her. So putting them together as a tag team might be the best thing.
Yeah, definitely.
For the division as a whole, for the tag team division as a whole, and it'll help boost Lacey as a singles competitor too.
I agree.
It'll help Lacey as a competitor in general.
Well, I think eventually what will happen is you'll see if they decide to go the tag team route. I think down the road, and again, this is thinking ahead, which WWE doesn't do. Down the road, I think you can see a Charlotte and Lacey match. After they've had the tag titles and something happens to mess it up, and then they turn on each other.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that. Whether you were talking about Lacey and Charlotte or together or against each other, but yeah.
Well, it might be down the road. I could see that
because they're very similar. You talked about that at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Where you just watching them up against one another, standing next to each other, kind of facing off. They're legit
they're similarly built.
They are. They are very similar.
So we'll see where they go with the storyline. See where that happens. I think it'd be cool if they did it the right way.
And also, building something else out of this, Becky and Bayley had to work together, and Becky made it clear before they went out that, cool, you're my tag team partner, but I still want my title back. I'm coming after that once we're done here. And so, I kind of could see them going in the route of having Becky up against Bayley for her SmackDown Women's Championship. I think it would be smart.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what happens, Again, there's some stuff they could do with this, but they got to create the storylines, and this is where they've lacked.
They do, but I think with at least this, there are two things coming out of this. Charlotte and Lacey as a tag team, Becky versus Bayley for the SmackDown and or Raw Women's Championship.
So does that mean that if they do it again, are they going to unify it?
I don't think so. I think they're still going to keep 2 championships.
Don't understand why. There's too many champions.
We had this conversation back at WrestleMania.
Too many champions.
And, I mean, I get it, but they're not going to. No. I don't see them unifying the women's. I just don't.
Well, I don't think they will, but, there's too many champions.
The other thing that I find very
definitely
interesting.
Definitely too many men's champions is now, and then they add another one.
I find it very interesting that even some of the superstars themselves have said, no, we don't want the titles unified, just keep the 2 separate ones. Because
well, it's because it gives someone else a chance to be a champion.
I know. Well, then you don't have your Survivor Series match where you have champion versus champion anymore.
Well, it's just, I don't understand it. It's not worth it. And I told you they could make a mid-tier, lower-tiered belt. They could add 2 women's belts to the division, like a mid-tier to lower-tier, And
I'm thinking of it.
People would be like, okay, cool.
I was thinking of it in terms of where I can understand why people wouldn't want to see the belts just taken down to 1.
Yeah.
Just due to the fact that because you have Survivor Series and stuff like that, where you have the champion versus champion, you have your WWE champion versus your Universal champion, tag team champions versus each other, your women's champions versus each other. That's all eliminated if you get rid of
whatever they do,
both championships.
So then we have Carmella.
Becky and Bayley ended up winning the match.
Yeah.
We didn't say that.
Carmella and R-Truth video.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal tried to pin R-Truth for the win. He did not. And then R-Truth and Carmella ran out of the building.
Yes.
With people chasing after them.
Yes.
So, I'm just waiting for Carmella to be like, you know what? I'm going to super kick you in the face and I'm going to take it.
Here's what I hope. I hope they just have some guy off the street come in and pin somebody. Some little scrawny dude that sees him walking down the street and hits him in the back of the head with a chair or something.
You have to have a ref, though.
Well, his buddy's standing next to him and he has a ref shirt on. And
I said this. Okay,
he's got a jacket on. And
I actually said this to somebody on Twitter because under one of the Drake Maverick videos, they were like, well, you have to have a ref. And I was like, well, what if he had a ref shirt in his back pocket and he put it on before he went down for the count to pin him, and then he counted it himself? Would that count? Does that work?
I wonder what they do if someone catches R-Truth sleeping and they just walk in quietly, hey, be quiet. And then they put their hand on his chest and then they count and then they grab the belt and take off running out the door.
That would be funny. I feel like we could be headed in that direction though. That'd be hilarious.
So, after the Truth and Mella, we have Dolph comes back out, of course, and he does his jealous rant.
The one thing I did not like about this was his, I should have been champion. It should have been me.
Yes.
In this, whiny cry voice, I was like, we didn't need that. Just
no.
Get rid of that. Just yell at us.
So then we
Tell us you're jealous.
Yeah. Then we have a Randy Orton and Triple H promo video
for Super Showdown.
Yep.
You had no idea what SSD stood for.
Yeah, Super Showdown.
Oh well, you didn't read it like that.
Yeah, well, I'm not really excited about this match.
I don't. They didn't really build up to it.
Again, well, because they don't build storylines.
No, they just legit announced it. No. They legit announced this on their Twitter or something like that. And I didn't even see it at first. I didn't even know it was happening because I missed the tweet and didn't see it until somebody told me about it. You didn't know it was happening
because WWE just throws matches together out of the blue.
Well,
there's no thought process to any of it.
I was like, what?
It's the same people that wrestle every week. You don't see things change. You have the same people wrestling. It's all the same. Everything's done the same. And so, you know what
I wish?
They need to fix it.
I wish again, too many S's. I just have issues with S's. I wish that the Super Showdown was in Australia again. That's where it was last year. And then we could have some women's matches on the card.
Yeah. Well, Saudi Arabia, it's funny that WWE reprimands Lars Sullivan for things he says, and then they take him to Saudi Arabia where they, basically women are not seen as the same as men, and they have matches there. doesn't make sense. But hey, we're taking their money, so we'll go ahead and go over there and do this. But we're going to fine Lars Sullivan for what he said.
I don't know, man. So that happened. And then we have the main event of the show. The Elias versus Roman Reigns Money in the Bank rematch.
Again, why they're doing this to Elias, I don't know. It's pointless.
I think Elias should be pushed for the Intercontinental title.
I think that'd be a good spot for him.
Or the U.S. title.
But, who's even the Intercontinental Champion?
Finn Balor.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a match against Andrade at Super Showdown. Demon Finn Balor, might I add.
Andrade. Same thing over and over
No,
again.
but they had built up their rivalry over the last several weeks back. This is dating back to the Super Showdown. But then they didn't have their freaking match at Money in the Bank. They put them in the Money in the Bank match instead. And then they screwed us all over when they had Brock Lesnar win anyways. So what was the point? You should have just had them have their IC title match then.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. They need to figure, like I said, again, it's storylines and making people interested in what they're doing, and they're just not doing that. And they need to fix some of that to make it more interesting. And, it's Roman destroys Elias and gets the win.
I hate to say this, people, but I'm kind of beginning to feel the same way about Roman the way I do about AJ Styles.
What's that?
That he's kind of boring. And I'm kind of over it.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's why you're getting bored with it. Because you see the same thing every week.
Yeah, and that's what the issue
But it goes along with everybody.
That's what the issue with AJ Styles is. But it's just like both of them, they just are very boring to me.
Okay, but you see the same thing every week.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is like AJ Styles, he's kind of boring. It's the same he cuts the same promos over and over again talking about the house that AJ Styles built. The house that AJ Styles built. The house that AJ Styles built. I'm like, dude, I don't like that. And then we get this Roman Reigns business where he's like, I'm an inspiration.
That's his gimmick right now, so that's what they're doing.
But it's boring.
Well, there's a lot of stuff they do that's boring and like pointless. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's like they're gonna have to change. Definitely gonna have to change.
It's just a little. I don't know. I'm just kind of getting bored of Roman too. I feel like they're showing him to us too much. They tried this before when they put the championship on him a couple years or so back before he got diagnosed with leukemia or cancer. Leukemia.
But again, it all gets fixed if you have a storyline and you use it, and use people on the roster.
The thing back then was the issue back then was that he was not. They put the championship on him, and then they tried to shove him down our throats. But we didn't want him because we didn't like him. But now that we had this whole thing with his cancer situation, now everybody's like, okay, well, you're cool now. And WWE is shoving that down our throats instead. Well, again, personally, it's kind of annoying at this point.
Part of the problem is you do the same thing over and over again, then people get turned off by it.
It's slow. So Roman gets the win.
Shane
attacks.
Ends up attacking Roman.
And then Drew McIntyre comes out of nowhere for whatever reason and attacks him too.
Roman ends up kind of getting over on Shane and gets up and was getting ready, to beat him up. And then Drew McIntyre comes in and then does his thing and
Claymore kick.
Helps out.
His double Claymore kick.
So, kind of a rinse repeat. At least he didn't have Baron Corbin come out.
At least.
So, that was something a little bit different.
Baron Corbin hasn't been on SmackDown at all.
So that was the show. Again, what would you rate it this week?
A C? B minus?
I would say probably a C. I would agree. C. There was, I thought the Dolph Ziggler thing was good as long as they keep the storyline going. Let's see. I thought the Charlotte Lacey thing is interesting. If they turn it into a storyline.
That was probably. Aside from the Kofi getting attacked by Dolph Ziggler thing, the Charlotte Lacey Becky Bayley match, that was probably my favorite thing of the evening.
Yeah. So I mean, they had some stuff in here that was cool and some stuff that wasn't. So.
And then I was excited for Big E's return, but then they kind of screwed that over when they had somebody attack him.
Yeah.
So.
So now we have some AEW news. If you haven't seen, they had Pac. Since Pac cannot make it to Double or Nothing, and I'm guessing it's probably due to him being the champion of whatever it is he's a champion of, and not being able to get out of, push over Hangman Page at Double or Nothing just because of whatever title he's holding. Mm-hmm. The company won't let him.
Yeah.
So they had a match. AEW posted it on their site on YouTube. Excellent match, awesome match. Ended up with a disqualification.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's at AEW's site. It was cool. They worked out a deal with. Let me see if I can find it. They had worked out a deal with the.
Who was it?
Yeah, just kind of keep talking.
You gotta find it. Well, I don't know what to talk about. I mean, it was a good match. I'd never seen Hangman Page wrestle before. He's good in the ring. I've seen Pac wrestle before because he was in WWE and he was Neville. But I had never seen him wrestle as like Pac. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I saw that. Another thing. So everybody knows Ty Dillinger, right? From WWE. Well, guess what? He's going to AEW and he's going to be in the Budget Battle Royal.
Yes. Which will be free on YouTube.
Under Sean Spears. That's his other name.
That'll be free on YouTube.
Yeah. So he's going to be in that, which I was like...
Saturday night before Double or Nothing. So WrestleGate Pro is the company that provided the footage for the Hangman Page and Pac match, which was cool. AEW thanked them, but at the end of the match, we'll go ahead and, if you don't want to hear it, plug your ears, because we're going to talk about what happened at the end. And this was the cool thing, because this is where the storylines come in. And obviously AEW, I think, has been doing that well with the stuff they've been putting on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Before they even have TV deals, they've been doing this with YouTube. They have put storylines out there to make it interesting and make people... I mean, personally, me, I want to see it because of the storylines. And they've created these storylines by doing what they've done on YouTube without even having matches taking place.
Yeah.
I'm
just curious because I've never seen anybody from AEW wrestle before. Like, I've never seen any of that.
Well, besides Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris Jericho.
I mean, yeah, I've seen them wrestle before. But, like, I've never seen, like, Kenny Omega or the Lucha Bros or the Young Bucks. I've never seen any of them in the ring before. And I'm, like, super curious.
So, but anyway, the WrestleGate Pro provided footage for AEW. And at the end of the match, Pac says, I did what I wanted to do. I hurt you. And
now I'm done with you.
I'm done with you, and I will not be going to Double or Nothing.
I won't be at Double or Nothing, and I'm done with AEW.
Yeah.
Is what he said.
And so, I think the one thing they did here, they opened it up to if they can work something out, whether he loses whatever the title is that's keeping him from coming over and doing his thing. They've opened that up as a storyline to have him, Adam Page or Hangman Page, call him out at some point in time down the road. And maybe this is how they do, maybe they got a way to get him on TV when the TV time starts. And Hangman Page kind of starts calling him out in October.
He's like, hey, remember me?
And maybe this is how they're going to use Hangman Page, is because, he was holding his knee at the end of the match like he was hurt. So maybe they do a storyline where he's hurt and can't compete for a while. So then as we get closer to the TV deal, he calls out Pac.
It's like, hey.
So, you know.
Where are you going with this?
I'm looking forward to watching Double or Nothing because they've created these storylines. We'll see what they do with it. So hopefully, you know, they will, you know, come out and give WWE a run for their money.
Yeah. So the buy-in is like the pre-show, and that is free on YouTube. On the All Elite Wrestling channel, AEW. And that's 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m.
on YouTube.
Eastern. On YouTube. Yeah, I said. Did I say that?
Or BR Live.
Yeah.
Which is an app.
And then the Double or Nothing pay-per-view is on all major cable providers, and it's $49.95.
Yes. So
I've never paid that much money for a pay-per-view in my life because I've only ever had the WWE Network.
I hope it does good too. You know, they said, I didn't see the last one, which was All In. Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. Their last pay-per-view, All In. We didn't watch it. We didn't really talk about it, but you know, a lot of people said it was really good. So, and now they've got a TV deal coming up and things, and they've, like I said, they've created storylines without actually having wrestling going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, you know, they've found a way to get people interested. I think you're going to have your WWE hardcore people that are like, no, I'm not watching that. And I think you're going to have people that have kind of got sick of WWE going, well, I'm going to switch over and watch AEW and just drop WWE. I think that this is going to help out WWE become better because they're going to have to become better.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we'll see where it goes from here. Hopefully, you know, Double or Nothing is good, and people like to watch it, and it creates a buzz about AEW. We plan on watching it, and we'll probably do a stream after Double or Nothing is over.
Probably.
And give our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think we covered everything.
I believe so.
Anything else you think of?
I don't think so.
All right.
We didn't see Bray Wyatt on tonight.
No, Bray Wyatt wasn't on site.
They didn't have Firefly Funhouse, which was interesting.
Maybe they figured out that, you know, showing the same thing is kind of turning people off when you show it back-to-back nights.
I didn't have a problem with it being shown 2 days in a row.
So, anyway, that is it. We will be back tomorrow with our NXT stream.
NXT recap. I don't have a clue what is actually supposed to be on NXT tomorrow. I just do know that the War Raiders relinquished their titles.
Yes.
Last week.
I'm sure they'll probably say something.
We gotta crown some new tag champs.
Make sure that you follow us. Hit the little bell so you know when we go live. Again, we stream every Monday after Raw, every Tuesday after Smackdown, every Wednesday after NXT, after every pay-per-view, and then we may throw in some special things like during the week if we get news or our prediction shows.
Yeah.
With that, thanks for coming and watching us. Hopefully.
Well, real quick, I do have the NXT thing. The boys are back. Undisputed Era is back together. Watching the Throne is what this says. Velveteen Dream. And now Dominik Dijakovic. We're going to get more on that. And then Candice LeRae takes on Reina Gonzalez. And Sewer's in action.
And then big news for the tag team titles.
And big news for tag team titles.
So there.
We have that to look forward to tomorrow.
All right. With that, we're going to end our stream. Appreciate it. Thanks. Check us out tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye. Peace out. Peace out.